Hey fam, it's Mr. Frederick right back at you. I hope everybody's doing good out there. Welcome back. Welcome back. I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. I did. For what do you make of it? I mean, you just you just enjoy a meal. You become thankful for it. And it doesn't have to be turkey to me. It can be fish. It can be beef. It can be anything. It could be pizza. Not that I'm having pizza, but it could be anything I want. That's my Thanksgiving, fam. That's my Thanksgiving. I don't have, I don't get me wrong. I love a sample of the traditional meals, but overall, I don't put those stipulations on myself. I don't limit myself. Oh, I have to have XYZ. I have to have the cranberry. No. I mean, maybe when I was younger, I don't know about you guys. What do you guys think? Let me know. Comment in there. I want to know um, if people really enjoy the traditional Thanksgiving meal, or as they get older, like myself, they find that they want something different. They want to do whatever they want to do on it. But anyway, I digress. Fam, today what I want to talk about is um, a book that I came across. I was actually watching, I want to say might have been, I don't know if you guys heard of Andrew Huberman, but I love his show, his podcast. And pretty much he talks to he's a scientist, I believe, at Stanford University, I want to say. He's a professor, rather. But either way, he he really has interesting guests. And they usually have something to do with some sort of self improvement, some sort of personal development. I wanted to talk about this one guest. He has a couple that I really like. I think I mentioned on one of my videos, Dr. Mate, excuse me. It's Mate. But that's a famous doctor as well. But he has um, different guests that I really like. But one guest he had actually wrote a book called Chatter. Okay. And let me see here. This is by Ethan Cross. So the Chatter book, he was interviewing the guy, and he made some good points about it, and about how the chatter in our head, what that noise in our head, that voice in our head, what that voice is, what it does for us, to us, how it determines our development, our outcome, how important it is, that voice inside our heads. So, fam, when you see me putting forth um, videos, or bringing forth videos rather on the channel that specialize in self-talk, um, therapy, um, positive reinforcement, it's a reason I do that. I do that because I have recognized that that is one of the most powerful forms of transportation for you to get from point A to point B in personal development. It's what you tell yourself, and it's really not that complicated. Of course, he goes into all the different scientific rather, analysis, um, all of the studies and such. I'm not going to go into all of that. I understand layman's terms. I like to keep things very, um, very clear and direct, so the average person can understand it. But from what I gathered, if I had to paraphrase, most of the interview was talking about the power of what you say to yourself. And I realized that that is a struggle for just about everyone. because we have the negative self-talk as a way of protection as well, because we want to be able to remember threats, remember different, I guess, failures or disappointments, pain. We want to avoid the pain. So we want to remember these things. The problem becomes when it is not only when you ruminate, when it's a loop. When that starts to happen, it's definitely a problem because it distracts you from your focus and your ability to learn, your ability to do whatever you're trying to do. Whatever you're trying to accomplish, you need to focus on it. You need to concentrate on it to be able to get the best outcome, the desired outcome. And if your mind is running, if you're thinking about different things, if you're distracted, it's impossible. So that's the importance of this. Hold on, fam. Let me see here. That's the importance of this book, Chatter, by Ethan Kross. It's pretty much it describes the importance, and again, it goes into the scientific details and the different hormones, receptors, pleasure receptors, all of that. He goes into all of that. But I wanted to say that you have to be the CEO of that voice. You have to not run from it, not ignore it, but you have to address it. You have to solve some of those problems that you might be thinking about. You have to, he mentions one of the practices he mentions is take yourself outside of yourself in a way and talk to yourself or ask yourself questions about whatever is ruminating in your head. And he gave the example of, because we tend to be more lenient on others than we are on ourselves. We're harder on ourselves. So if you change it and almost make it a third person type of deal, you are now looking and you ask yourself a question. You knew that wasn't going to go that way, X, Y, Z. And so he explains that now your brain automatically now is more sympathetic, empathetic, and is able to be less, be harder, less hard on, or less stringent on yourself. Because if you take yourself away from yourself, now you let up a little bit and you ask yourself the question, you answer it back. Another practice he gave to stop the looping was, he mentioned being able to put it in another time, like to say, okay, I know, will I be thinking about this? Will this be important an hour, 2 hours from now? Will this be something that I'm still thinking about? And he explained why that actually helps as well, because now you're prioritizing whatever you're thinking about. You're putting it in a lower priority. It was just really interesting. And I mean, you guys could check him out. I see a lot of interviews from him and different psychologists. I watch, I learn, and I try to put back or give back what I take in, because I'm learning as well. And I feel like it's a great journey, us learning together. And of course, mixing that in, incorporating that with my personal life. And I don't mind sharing certain things that I'm going through about studying or I have an interest in, or just me in general. I mean, fam, I'm not saying I have to give you my DNA, but quite frankly, I'm not ashamed about anything about me. I feel as though if I don't like it, then it's a problem. You might not like it. You might not like it. I can't control that. But what I can control is what I like. And I think that's a big part of the problem when people say, hey, I'm having an issue with negative self-talk or not believing. It's that they give too much power to outside individuals. You can't give individuals the power to something that they didn't create. So they're just judging, but the reality is that the only difference between you and anyone else is what you guys know about each other. You might not know anything about them that they did, and they know something about you. Or they can look outwardly at you and say, oh, you don't have this car, or you don't have this, or you don't. They could judge you on whatever criteria they choose to use. You don't know what their value system is. But if you flipped it, and they were transparent and you knew maybe that person was bankrupt, maybe that person was homeless for a little while when they were young. Come on now. But are they going to tell you that? Of course not. So that's my whole point. It's just as powerful as what we know about one another. And that's why you have to really focus and tune in on you and what you tell yourself, and really putting the focus and the interest on you. Because at the end of the day, the more you pour into you will be the more you have to pour out into the world. And if you are in the business of entertaining or putting all the power into everybody else, feel free. But remember, it's going to be times where everybody in the world, everybody out there, seems to lose your number all of a sudden. All of a sudden, oh, I don't know how to get in contact with him. I didn't know it was your birthday. I didn't know you had this going on. I didn't know. Okay, fam, really? And that's why you have to take care of yourself. You got to hit the gym. You have to educate yourself. You have to self-soothe. All the things I talk about. You have to love on you. Because, fam, don't give all these people out here the power to destroy you. Because if they could, they would. I mean, quite frankly, it's a lot of sick, ill people out here. And it's some good, loving, kind, God-fearing people as well. We live in a world with both. And sometimes we have been both. Sometimes our actions have been sick and ill. Sometimes they have been God-fearing and loving. And the goal is to bring that lower self and higher self together and be that one authentic individual that makes mistakes or has learning experiences and that are, let's just say, they have consequences that maybe aren't favorable to them. Okay? And at the same time, they have victories. They have celebrations. They have lots of achievements. You can be, and most of us are one on different degrees. We're both mixed into one. And so the goal is to try to have that one be the best it could be. But don't give the power to the people out there. Because if you do that, you now are taking power away from the most important individual, which is you. And that comes straight from the Most High. So, not going to go too far into everything, fam. I hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. Get out there, enjoy yourself, do what you love what you do. Peace and love, fam.